to all my friends at Azura. I'm Pastor Phil, and we're coming to you from St. Paul's United Church of Christ here in downtown Wausau. Well, as you can see, and if you watched any of my videos before, you will notice that we started decorating for Christmas, and these Christmas trees are up and they are lit. And actually, there's decorating going on as we speak. So if you hear some noises in the background, it's just people who are putting up Christmas decorations here in the sanctuary. Well, my story today, and I just shared a story about a Christmas tree, but this one is called The First Christmas Tree, a legend of long ago, and it's written by Helen Hadel, and it's illustrated by her husband David and another family member, Elizabeth Hadel. So let's see what the story about the first Christmas tree could be all about. A long time ago, did you ever notice a lot of stories start out that way? A long time ago, it has been told of a tiny green shoot that broke through the blanket of pine needles in a tiny woodland. And right there it is! Look at that. At last, said the new little tree, squinting forward. The grandfather fir tree smiled down in surprise and said, "Hi there, little fellow." Many seasons passed. The straggly little tree waited patiently, hoping to grow strong and majestic, just like the trees it admired. Why is everybody so excited? What's happening? The little fir tree asked, the squirrels and the rabbits scurrying past him, but no one had an answer. They were all too busy. "Prepare our best," the animals called to each other as they scampered through the forest and the orchards. "Search for the biggest walnuts, the biggest acorns and seeds. Bring wild berries and grain to our storage place. Gather only the finest for our king's son." Who do you think that might be? Let's see. Here we have a squirrel trying to make those plans. The littlest fir tree asked, "Will you tell me who is coming?" "Oh yes, the king's son is coming to be born. He's coming from heaven as a human baby." "Why is he coming?" asked the little fir tree. "To fix everything that's wrong on this earth. He will bring us love and new life." That night, the little tree wasn't able to sleep. His heart leaped for joy as he thought, "The son of the king is coming. Is he the one who scatters the stars and paints the sunsets? What gift can I give him?" Well, the next morning, the little tree asked the cardinal, "What are you going to give the king's son?" "When the dear child is born," said the bird, "I will pluck the finest red feathers from my wings as a gift for him." "I wish I had something like a red feather to give," thought the little tree, feeling worried. "I don't know what to give." Well, cooler breezes blew through the forest when the eagle's message finally rang out. "The promised child has come at last. Bring your gifts to the place of his birth." The woodland creatures and the trees selected the finest of all they had gathered. Carrying their gifts, they began the happy procession to the town at the bottom of the hill. The littlest fir tree moved aside, hoping that no one would notice him. He watched the birds fly toward town and the woodland creatures descend the hills carrying pine cones and grain and fruit and nuts and berries and dripping honeycombs. They're right, he thought. I am not worthy to go. I have nothing to give. While the sad little fir tree watched everyone leave, a whispering sound interrupted his thoughts. He looked down and saw two mice. What's wrong? He asked them. We were taking gifts to the newborn king, they replied, but now we've lost our mother. He gently wrapped his branches around them. Snuggle next to my trunk, little ones. I'll help you to find her. Partway down the hill, the littlest tree saw a bluebird fluttering above the path. Watch out for my egg, she cried. My nest slipped off the branch of the great pine. Please don't trample my egg. Don't worry. I'll keep you and your egg safe, said the little tree, gently edging a branch under the nest. Relieved, the bluebird settled into her nest while the littlest fir slowly descended the hill, carefully balancing his branches. He couldn't help worrying about what the other trees might say when they saw him. At the bottom of the hill, the woodland creatures were crowded around the entrance of a stable. The mother bird whispered, "We're the last ones here because you stopped to help me. I'm sorry." "Oh, I don't mind," said the little fir tree in a low voice. "I've got nothing to give. I just came to help those lost mice." He tried to move closer, but the trees scolded and blocked him with their branches. "Why'd you come?" they asked. "You don't even have a gift." It's no use, thought the little tree. I'll never get close enough to see the newborn Christ King. But I'm so glad he's here. The littlest fir closed his eyes and reverently bowed down the branches. Overhead, God the King was watching. An angel called out, "Stars in heaven, come down and light up the branches of this little fir tree." And a swirl of glittering stars cascaded downward, filling the branches of the little tree. The bright glow spread from a star on top to sparkle to every single branch. "Oh, look!" cried the two young mice. The littlest fir opened its eyes. "What's shining?" he wondered. Looking around, he discovered the stars on all of his branches. "It's me!" he cried. "I'm the one that's shining." Everyone turned to see where the bright lights were coming from. They stared at the glittering tree and slowly moved back, opening a path to the stable. The littlest fir gazed upon the child at last. I'm so glad you came," stammered the little tree. I wish I had something to give to you." The baby smiled at him. Then an angel spoke from above. "God accepts your thanks and praise. They are the best gifts of all. When you helped others, you did what God's Son has come to do. Go now. Continue to serve in his love. And each year, when they celebrated the child's birthday, glimmering stars of heaven came down once again to lighten up the very first Christmas tree. Well, that's my story this day about the Christmas tree. So, as you're lighting your tree, take time to put on the lights and read from Luke 10 in the Bible, where it talks about the love of Christ and preparing our hearts for Christmas. I hope you enjoyed our story called The First Christmas Tree. Thank you, folks of Azura, for joining me today, and we wish you a very Merry Christmas and happy Advent season. Bye for now, and may God bless.